Um, awesome. I'll just start it. Hey guys, this is Jonathan. I'm here with our coaching client, Kevin Chandler. What's up, Kevin? How's it
How's
going?
it going, guys?
Thank you so much for joining today. Kevin and I were just talking a little bit. Kevin's out in Colorado. Maybe Kevin, if you could just introduce yourself and how long have we worked together, and maybe what you were doing before.
Yeah, so my name's Kevin. I live in Colorado in the mountains. I've been a full-time firefighter for years now, but I grew up with kind of finance heritage. My dad's an investment banker, so it's kind of easy for me to fall into this kind of a field and be passionate about this kind of stuff as I was growing up. So as I got older, I got more into the trading world. But like most everybody else, I kind of just struggled to find reliable information or just really just accurate information or anything that actually worked. Um, so I feel like I kind of went through the gamut of random strategies using random indicators that, tend to indicate things after the move has been made. And
Was that
um,
future stocks or options?
I just, all three.
Oh, just
Yeah.
wherever, just trying to
I
learn.
was
Okay.
just trying to just do whatever, um, really just wherever I felt like I could find any kind of value, but really nothing was working out for me. So I tried a strategy out for a little while that I saw on the internet somewhere or something, and usually wouldn't work out well, or it would start by working like scalping ES futures or something ridiculous like that.
Just
And I'd start
short
off
ter-
with a little bit of luck. Yeah,
short term scalping S&P futures.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
None of it was any good money management or um, anything that I see is really legit now that I've learned what I learned now in just a few short weeks. So
How long were you bouncing around the internet just looking for trading education before we started working together?
years.
Okay.
But I've always been super skeptical of all of it. Um,
Rightfully so.
yeah, and I never actually tried any of it because I always just assumed that, oh, if they have this strategy that works so well for them, then why the hell would they share it with
Sure,
everybody
sure,
else?
sure.
And if they're making so much money, then they wouldn't be trying to sell it to me for $1,000 here, $1,000 there. So I never actually tried any of it.
Am I
But
the first educator you've ever worked with?
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
That's crazy. And I only say it's crazy because when I met you, you must have been watching my content for a little bit because you were in. We have,
yeah. I was. It's
the
kind of
six
funny.
month coaching program. Usually people will come, they'll take a free week, they'll feel it out, they'll, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You were just, we talked and you're like, I want in. I want six
Yep.
month coaching program. I want everything. That's so
Yeah.
surprises me to hear that this is the first time you've worked with an educator like that.
Yeah, and I want to call it a leap of faith, but it
Uh-huh.
wasn't really a leap of faith. I could tell that what you were teaching, it was not just trying to sell an indicator or some simple strategy that you have some ridiculous success rate or um, like nothing. None of what you were telling me was just kind of marketing mumbo jumbo to me,
Awesome.
and I could tell you were actually trying to that you're actually teaching how to manage money and how to trade this market and all the different ins and outs of it.
Man,
So
that means the world to me. I really appreciate you saying that. That's I do believe that education is a commodity, and I try to put a lot of free information available on YouTube. And then, for those who want to work with us, the idea is that people like yourself watch content. So, how much content did you watch before you reached out?
I probably watched a whole bunch of your futures trading videos,
Okay.
and I love the way that you were looking at the market just in terms of relative value.
Okay.
I saw a lot of value in that because I felt like um, I was always looking at things in isolation,
Okay.
whether it be stocks, futures, whatever. And I was never comparing it to anything else. And with the tools that you and Pablo have created, it's made it really easy for somebody like me to be able to have those tools that lots of other retail folks don't have.
Yeah.
And it's made it a lot easier to actually trade relative value. Um, and then you've also taught like how to take those principles and then take them to the options market or take them to the stock market or whatever. So it's been awesome. It's been
When
super valuable for me.
it's all tied together, right? What's the difference? Futures,
Right.
options. Everybody has an account that we're just kind of looking to grow. Just taking a step back. So before me, you really weren't introduced to relative value and only looked at the market and everything in isolation. Uh, is it just it started making a lot more sense to look at products relative to one another? Because from my side, I've always been the relative value trader, and so to me, trading something on its own, it seems so foreign and so risky. What was that your experience, that the relative value seemed like less risk, more like more of a structural position? What did you like about it versus what you were doing before?
Um, that's to go back to what I was doing before. A lot of it was just kind of amateur technical analysis, and
Okay.
I felt like it was gambling, just trading things in isolation. And now that I can look at things with a relative value approach, I find it a lot easier to be able to make those decisions in terms of if I want to buy, sell, or maybe buy one down that's cheaper compared to the other.
Okay.
And it gives me a lot more confidence.
Yep.
And it feels like it doesn't feel as much like gambling just because I know it works and it's effective.
It also helps that there's other people doing the same thing.
Right.
You can confirm, hey, yesterday we talked about the NASDAQ getting close to that implied volatility band, and you posted that, and that was spot on. Absolutely nailed it, and that's exactly why we're using those tools. Before those tools, we couldn't have looked at the implied volatility band of 4 different futures contracts all against one another.
Right. It would just be guessing. And in my opinion, it would just be gambling if you
Right.
weren't looking at those kind of things. So, yeah.
Overall, which tools do you find yourself using the most?
Probably Energy Edge and Equity Edge are the two big ones for me, but also Bond Edge too. So, because that's where I started. That's where you recommended I get going right off the bat, which laid out a really good foundation as I started getting into some energies and equities and whatnot.
I love to hear that. I'm hearing that more and more. And even, funny enough, before we spoke, I just was on the phone with Pablo for a while. And it's the same thing. Really, all the futures trading that we're doing, it's all bond trading. It's just we've now taken the bond trade that we know is a really good, reliable trade and brought it into other equity classes. Oil's natural because it trades in a curve, but the new VIX tool, it's just curve trading. It's just following the VIX curve. And that was even something before Pablo. I followed the VIX, but I didn't follow the 9-day VIX, the 27-day VIX, the 30, the 30, 33. So these tools definitely just make it easier to follow a lot of different markets, but we're also growing in the process.
Yeah. And honestly, I find the bonds the most complicated. But as I went through like bond boot camp and I was writing notes furiously and getting things figured out and making it make sense in my own head, it's a lot easier to apply those principles to all the other trades, like your energy trades, equities, all that kind of stuff. So
it simplifies everything else. Learning them in the other way, it's not really going to help you learn the bond trade if you learn how to trade equities first. So that's why it makes. I also say that too because it buys me time. I know there's a little bit longer learning curve in the interest rate trade. So if I have people focusing on that, it gives me a little built-in buffer that I know it's going to take them a little bit of time to learn the trade. Maybe they won't jump in and risk money right away.
Yeah, totally. That's been the hardest part is trying to paper trade the most that I can.
I told you before you came, I said, that's the biggest risk I have is people come in, they see other people doing well. It's exciting, especially now volatility's picked up, everything's moving, sitting on the sidelines and just learning. But that's the play.
I definitely came in at an interesting time.
Oh, absolutely. So have you started trading live? Or are you still paper trading?
Not with futures yet. I'm paper trading the futures.
Okay.
Just trying to build my confidence up. But I am trading options live because I had a little bit of experience with that before. So
cool.
Now I'm just taking the principles and management that you've taught me and applying that to my options trading.
Good. I think a good place to get started when you do get started with the futures is those minis. Equity minis is a great way to take, the paper trading, build the confidence, and then build the confidence, risking under $1,000 and just slowly grind it out that way. And then once you get more comfortable, then you go and start trading real money. But the ability to paper trade and then the ability to trade those micros is a perfect stepping stone to build your confidence to trade for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally
So
agree.
good. How's your performance been this year? Have things picked up a little bit for you?
I did some selling before I was with you, just
Uh-huh.
based on my perception of how the market was going to do. And that ended up saving me some money, but that really didn't have anything to do with our trading. But now that I've been with you, I've been using options to hedge most of my positions
Good.
just because I know how to properly do it now. So this recent drop here, I'm with all my long positions, I'm basically flat this morning, which is awesome.
It's it's amazing. Well, and that's why it comes down to, protect your account first.
Yeah.
If you can protect your account and know that if the market's down 800 points, you're going to be okay, that really lets you get more aggressive when, things stabilize, market starts moving in your right direction, because it gives you the comfort that, you know what, you have the insurance in place.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's been good.
Oh, dude, I'm thrilled for you. I wanted to get you on and share your experience with others. I know there are many people that are in your situation where they're looking around for a place to go. So, dude,
Yeah, totally.
I thanks for coming out. I appreciate working with you, and I hope to work with you for the years to come.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun so far, and it's only going to get better from here. So
Cool,
I'm excited.
Kevin. Thanks so much, buddy.
No worries.